Welcome to the fourth part of our Procedural Rope Bridge series in Blender 5.2 Geometry Node. In our previous sessions, we built the main structure of our bridge step by step. We started with the parametric rope curves, added thickness to the rope, created dynamic support pillars, and then built a procedural wooden plank system that follows the curve of the bridge. Now in this session, we are going to make the bridge feel much more complete and believable by adding vertical ropes and upper knots. Until now, our bridge had the main side ropes and the wooden walkway, but it still needs the hanging rope connection that tie the lower section of the bridge and upper support ropes. These vertical ropes are an important visual and structural detail, especially for a handmade rope bridge. We will begin by creating a vertical rope using a curve line, then convert it into a real geometry using curve to mesh and curve cycle. To keep the design consistent, we will connect its thickness to the existing rope thickness parameter. Reduce it so that the vertical ropes are thinner than the main support ropes. After creating one vertical rope, we will use instance on points to place it repeatedly along the bridges. The position of this rope will be driven by the same point system used for the wooden plank. So every plank gets a matching rope connection. This keeps the bridge procedural and perfectly synchronized. Next, we will place these vertical ropes on both sides of the bridge using transform geometry. Instead of manually moving them, we will use the bridge width parameter and mathematical offsets so that the ropes automatically move outward or inward when the bridge width changes. We will also connect the height of these vertical ropes to the bridge height parameter. This means when the bridge becomes taller or shorter, the vertical ropes will automatically adjust their length. Then we will add the finishing detail, small circular rings or knots above the vertical ropes. These rings will sit on the upper rope and make the connection look more realistic. They will also respond to rope thickness, bridge height, and bridge width. So the entire setup is fully parametric. By the end of this session, our bridge will have a much more rich structure, wooden planks below, thick support ropes above, vertical hanging ropes on both sides, and knot details that makes the bridge look more natural and hand created. This is where the procedural model starts gaining real character. Every new element is not just added manually, it is connected to the system, controlled by parameters and built to update automatically. So let us continue and add the vertical rope connections and upper knots to our procedural rope bridge. Let us start by launching Blender. I will double click on Blender 5.2 shortcut to launch it. Once Blender 5.2 is launched, in our previous session we were working on this bridge 3.blend file. Now if you are continuing from the previous session, you can directly open this and start working with me. But if you have come to this video directly and if you doesn't have this previous file, in your YouTube video page or in the e-learning page, we have provided you a Patreon page link. Now if you come into this geometry nodes in Blender Patreon page and if you scroll down, you are provided with a link for this bridge 3.blend file. Click here, download it, and you can start working on it. So right now in Blender 5.2, I will open this bridge 3.blend file. So in our previous session, we had concluded creating this wooden plank. Now if I scroll down, I have all the wooden plank related content on the top. I will select all this wooden plank and I will just move it down till here, and then I will zoom in, and in the top area I am next going to start building the ropes. Now if you consider the ropes are straight line running from bottom rope to the top rope. This is a straight line. So to begin with, I am going to start with a line. So I will press Shift A and in search, I will search for line, and I am going to select this curve line, not mesh line, curve line. And when I add it, I am currently not seeing it here. I need its output. So I will press Ctrl space and make this full screen. And now I have this joint geometry here. I have to bring it to this joint geometry. I will press Ctrl Shift right mouse click and I am going to drag from this curve line to my joint geometry. And when I release, you can see that this is connected to this joint geometry through another joint geometry. So I doesn't want multiple joint geometries. So I will take this output and put it to this joint geometry only, and I will select this joint geometry and delete it, and I will connect this directly. Shift right click and drag here to create a point. Then I will press G and move it here like this. I will also press Shift right mouse click and create one more point here, press G and move it, and I will press Shift plus right mouse drag, create a point, press G and move it. And now if I press Control space, you can see a line running here. I want to add some amount of thickness to this line. After this curve line, press Shift A and in search, I am going to add this curve to mesh node here. I require a profile. Press Shift A and in search, select a curve circle, connect this curve circle to this profile curve. I have a huge circle because the radius is set to 0.1. The radius of my rope and this vertical rope all should be the same. Now I will come to group input, press Control space to make it full screen. From the rope thickness, I will drag up, connect it to my curve radius. Press Control space, my rope thickness and the thickness of this line is the same. This is running somewhere in the middle. Zoom it in, press Shift, right mouse drag, press G and I will move it. I will press Shift, drag and I will select this point, press G and I will slightly move it to the side so that I can see how this bridge width and thickness is moving out. I will move this curve line a little to the top. The thickness of my vertical rope should not be exactly equal to my main rope. My main rope will be thicker, but my vertical rope should be approximately half of its size. Before the curve circle here, I will press Shift A and I am going to search and I am going to add the math node here. I will connect the math node and in the value I am going to select divide and I am going to divide it by 2. I have this line half the thickness of my main rope. In the main rope I had set this resolution to 5. Even here I will set the resolution to 5 so that it has a rhombus shape. Now I want this to be present all along my rope. How it should be placed is, for every plank that I have here, I should have a rope running from bottom to top. I am going to make rope appear at every plank point by using my favorite node, instance on point. I will come after this curve to mesh, press Shift A and I am going to search for instance on point and I will connect it after curve to mesh. Right now it is connected to point. I will make it instance. From where am I going to get this instance? This instance I want it from my wood plank. So if you come into wood plank, I had curve on point. This curve on point is what is going to determine this wooden plank point. So I am going to take the output from my curve on point and I am going to drag it and connect it to points here. So immediately you can see that at the center I have all ropes created. This line is appearing randomly, so I will just move to this curve on point, Shift right mouse click and drag. I get a point here, press G and I will move it to the top. I will move wooden plank a little to the bottom and you have another point running here. Press Shift right mouse click and I will move this point to the side like this. I want this point to be on both the sides, and to move this we are going to do our mathematical calculation, and if you guess what is the parameter that is going to determine it, it is nothing but the bridge width. The bridge width is going to determine where this rope should come. If I come back to geometry input, you have bridge width. I have multiple nodes here. I select this point, press G and move it. See, this is bridge thickness. I will move it back, and this is bridge width. And this bridge width is moving through this node. To use this bridge width value, first I will come into instance on point, and to move it I will press Shift A and in search I will search for transform geometry and place 1 on the top. So here if I move it along the Y, see it is moving along the Y. I want one more on the other side. For this transform.geometry, then I will select it, press Shift D and make one more, and in this case Again, I will take this instance on point and connect it to this transform geometry, and I have to now combine these two. So I will select this point, press G, and I will move it to the side. Then press Shift A and I will use join geometry node. I will add it and I will take another transform geometry and connect it here. And in one, if I make it -2 and in the other if I make it +2, then you can see on both the sides I have these ropes placed. This should change along with my bridge width. I will first move join geometry a little to the side, select this node, press G and move it to the side. Select transform geometry, press G and move it to the top. I will press Shift A and I will select combine XYZ and I will connect it to this translation. Now I have to control only my Y value and I will keep this to the bottom. Now select this combine XYZ, press Shift D and make a copy, and I will drag and place it down and I will connect it to the translate of second transform geometry. Zoom out and select all these blocks here, press G and move it to the top. Select combine XYZ, press G and move it to the top. Have one combine XYZ here and one combine XYZ here. If my width is 4 meters, half of this width it should move to the right and half of the width it should move to the left. I am going to press Shift A and I will add a math node, and in this math node, in the first case, I am going to multiply this by 0.5. And what value I am going to multiply? I am going to take my bridge width value. See here, from the bridge width it is coming and you have the point here. So from here I am going to drag. I will drag it and coming over here I will connect to this multiply. I will take this multiplied value and I will apply it to Y. Now you can see one is placed on the right hand side. I have another combine XYZ. I will take this multiply, press Shift D to duplicate, move it down, and I will now bring this down to this combine XYZ. Drag this value to my Y, and in this case Shift right click and add a node to the value coming from my bridge width. From this point I will drag it and put it as the first value here, and in this case I am going to multiply it by -0.5. I have one set on the left hand side and another set on the right hand side. And the next part here is I have to adjust my rope height. If you remember, we created these ropes using curve line. If I come into my geometry node curve line, I will just move this curve line a little to the top. So we had divided it and added the radius. If I change the Z value, see the height is changing. However, I want this Z value to be controlled by my bridge height parameters. I will press Shift A and in search, I will again call for combine XYZ and I will take this combine XYZ and connect it to the end. The value for this Z should come from group input bridge height. So I have the bridge height coming. You can see a point created here. For this bridge height, I had created a reroute. I will drag it from here, move it to the top. I will come into this curve line Z point. If I change the bridge height, see the rope height is changing automatically. If I change the bridge width, see the ropes are moving automatically. So I will set the width to 4 and bridge height also to 4. If I zoom it out, I want to rearrange these things correctly. So I have the bridge height coming here. So I will select this group input and I will press Shift right mouse drag. I will make this one point and move it to the top like this. Two curvatures are moving direct. I have the plant density coming from the bottom. I will shift right click, drag and create a point and I will move it to the bottom. And for rope thickness, with shift right mouse, I will create a point and move it down. And for bridge height, shift right click, create a point and move it down. For bridge width, shift right click and drag, and I am going to move it so that I am slightly going to rearrange it so that all these points will be clearly visible. So I will select this G and move it to the right. See, this bottom area is where I am creating the pillars. Then I have the rope, then have the wooden plank created, and this multiply part of my wooden plank. Whatever area you are seeing on the top. With Shift G, I will select this joint geometry also. I will temporarily drag and keep it to the top. Let us later on finally rearrange these nodes correctly. I will right now come into File and I am going to choose Save As, and I am going to call this as Bridge 4, and I am going to click on the Save button. Now the next thing that I want here is, if I zoom in, Shift middle mouse click, if I pan, I see these joints here. See, this appears abrupt. So to create a better look, I am going to add one ring. So there will be a ring or a knot that will be put against this upper rope. Now to create this ring, I am going to use a circle. I will come into my geometry nodes, and if I zoom in, I have started creation of this line with this curve line. At this curve line, press Shift E, and in search, I am going to search for curve circle. And as of now, you are not seeing this circle. This curve circle should actually go through this curve mesh to this instances. So I have this curve circle here and curve line here. I am going to join these two things. I will first select curve circle, Control Shift and right click, and drag it to my curve line. I now got a curve geometry. You can see the curve geometry created here. So I will just move it. If I zoom out, this geometry is created at the base, but I want this geometry at the top, and also I should rotate it. After this curve circle, I will just move it slightly to the left. I will also select this point, press G and move it up. I will press Shift A and in search add transform geometry between this curve circle and joint geometry. So if I add it here, select this point with Shift select both this point, press G and move it up. I will move the transform geometry to the top. I can now move this and also rotate it. Along the Y, if I rotate it, see it is rotating, I will rotate it by 90 degrees. I want this to be at the top. This point should be at the height of my bridge. So where am I getting this height? See, the height information in my curve line is coming through this combine XYZ. I am getting this Z value is coming through my bridge height. I will take this bridge height coming here and connecting to this combine XYZ. I take this vector output and connect it to the translate here. And immediately you can see my rings are placed at the height of my bridge. This ring is very big. I want to reduce its diameter. I already have the rope diameter or the rope thickness parameter. That rope thickness parameter, if you move down, see from rope thickness here, it is moving here, and if I move up, it comes here. I have brought to this divide. I have divided it by 2. So I will just move it to the side. I will take this value and connect it to the radius. The radius is added, but this radius is very, very small. Instead of adding it directly, I have to increase its size a little. So I will press Shift A. I am going to search for math node and I am going to connect math node in between. I will come into multiply and the value I am going to multiply will be 3. 3 appears to be a good value. I am seeing actually a ring placed on the top of my rope. We have successfully added this ring over our rope by using the same values of my curve line. Wherever I had created the curve line, I have used the curve line position as my translation here so that it move up. I have used my curve line rope thickness. I have multiplied it by 3 and added it as radius. Using joint geometry to join it together, convert it to curve to mesh and create instance on point. If I just increase the height, see the rings also moves. If I increase the width, see the ring and rope both moves. And at the same time, if I increase the rope thickness also, see it is going to change. As the rope thickness changes, I can make the changes. I will set back my rope thickness to 0.1. Bridge height, I will leave it at 4 meters. Bridge width at 4 meters. Both the curvatures at -3 and bridge length at 10 meters. Now I will go to file, save this. In our next lesson, see, if you come into the bottom, see the ropes are coming and just moving up directly from the plank. But in the actual forest bridges, you will have some ropes tied over here in a zigzag way. We are going to create this zigzag structure of ropes at the bottom in our next session.